What's up, everybody? It's Dylan Ashcraft from Ellipsis TCG here with teammate Joe Cicalo, who did a hell of a job at the Rhode Island Regional for ARGENT SAGA. Say hi, Joe.
Hey, everybody.
Alright, so we're doing a internet deck profile because Joe lives in a state that I've never been to, so I can't get there and do physical deck profile with him. Joe, what did you play in Rhode Island?
ARGENT SAGA.
What deck did you play in Rhode Island?
Trying to keep you honest. I played Hoenna with Sola Spirit.
Did you just purposefully overpronounce the ho?
Yes.
How dare. Alright, so how come we decided to play Hoenna Sola?
So, I really felt that she didn't really have a bad matchup. You have your slight disadvantages in certain matchups, based on my build. I'm a little weaker to control than I am aggro, but we'll go over the list in a couple of minutes. So I just made the changes to be more geared towards aggro because Aragon got banned, and I didn't really see a very strong control archetype being around because there was no way to loop units like Gloom or Mayu or Sylphia outside of just the Kite Spirit. So I mean, Hoenna Sola was already a strong deck in the format, with Aragon around, but now that he's kind of taking a breather until November, I felt like she was just a strong option.
I like that. He's taking a breather.
I mean, he's not banned. He's just,
yeah, I know. Suspended is interesting.
He decided to spray graffiti on the Argent wall, and now he's suspended to November.
Alright, let's dive into the deck. So, you played 3 copies of Failed Golem number 1. Any particular reason? I'm assuming it's just because it's a 1-drop, but...
Yeah, it's a 1-drop. It lets you peek at towers and crack the fire and air where it's not, very, it doesn't really ruin your game plan. The earlier you crack those two, because they can really kind of mess up. I mean, every tower obviously gives your opponent an advantage, but the air tower later in the game can really cost you, especially if you have Guardian, the last tower you hit and you misplay to a certain point. But yeah, it was just to be able to peek and possibly crack 2 towers early in the game.
Okay, cool. Did you contemplate playing Failed Golem number 2, the one that puts a counter on Hoenna, or?
I did not, only because you have Hidden Lab, and that card is bonkers. So I know you're reading it does very little, but if that card is not dealt with, you just kind of run away with the game because you just are able to see more cards, and that just gives you the edge in a lot of matchups just because you're able to get your answers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the 1-drop 500 didn't do much, so
completely fair. Moving on, we got Golem of Allurement, aka the bane of my existence.
Yeah, he helps in the Gears matchup a lot because there's a lot of weenies. In my event, I took a Shard Beast at one point, and I almost lost that game because I took a Shard Beast, and my deck is not as Shard Beast friendly as the list I played in Indianapolis. So I kind of made it more mid-rangey than aggressive. So that almost stunk, but it's a really neat trick to be able to Yami take their 20k Knight Defender off the tower, or if you're playing a Sola mirror, being able to just have another kind of way of removal of either tokens or just 1-drops.
Cool. Nice up is nice up. Next up is probably the best 2-drop in the game, in my opinion. But Golem of Devourment?
Yeah, that card's really annoying. That's really just all it is. So Golem of Devourment for me is just a way to get to my turn 4 or 5 when I can start playing out Watchwoman and having backup Dust Strike, or just being able to have mana up to have answers and be able to, defend myself so they're not just cracking towers. It's 2 cost 3 bodies that they have to get through. It's it's really just a no-brainer. Plus, like, it's a way to, if they're not aggressive, like you're playing a control matchup, if you have a hidden lab out, it's just free draw, free get like 5 cards out of your deck.
Yep. So, next up, I actually have a question about this one. So, Golem of Avarice, personal opinion, this is like my favorite of the golems because I think the card's absurd, especially if you combine it with Rudy. How come you only played 2?
So I played 2 because I felt, like I said earlier, is that it was going to be more aggressive for us. So they're already just not keeping up a hand advantage. This is my initial approach to the tournament, but we'll get more into like my matchups after. And like, also you have failed Golem and Yami, so it was kind of like I had 5 copies. Didn't really think I needed the 6th. So yeah, Golem Avarice is very good. Like, it hits a random like Golem out, and it's a 20k beater. But like, I only needed to see it like in certain matchups, and like it wasn't something I wanted to draw all the time. But when I saw it, it was
Completely fair. 1 copy, Golem of Jealousy.
it was just another 2-drop I can play that can possibly crack a tower, and it replaces itself. So it was just there. There wasn't really many other options. I didn't want to play like another Allurement. I didn't want to play another Avarice. And he's a low-cost guy that could pop the 2 towers, same as Fail Golem.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
And he's also just a guy you could just play crack with Lab, so you net 2 cards off of it.
It's a pretty good combo. Have you ever noticed that on the art, the Golem of Jealousy has a face on its back? I just noticed that staring at this picture, and that's really creepy.
It's actually sewn on, and yeah, he has his face is on the back, and he's kind of like looking in a window and not realizing that his eyes are behind him.
Oh boy.
But you know, it is what it is.
Next up, the best. Oh god, it is Hoenna's fault. The best destroyer in the game, in my opinion. Unless something else came out. Oh my god, wait, no, Twilight Knight's a destroyer. Ignore me. But Golem of Vengeance.
We could say he's the best non-argent colored destroyer. So like, it's a toss-up between him and Stormcaster, in my opinion. But like, I'm gonna use Magic references. Actually, you know what? I'll stick to it. So, if anyone's ever cracked the Darkness Tower too early, you realize that that is probably just the biggest roadblock in your game plan, because now you got to come up with a new line because they just ripped the card out of your hand knowledgeably. This guy does it twice, and he's a 40k, and he takes 2 towers. So it's, you have an answer for him when he resolves. You don't have it anymore. Or if you have something that can win you the game, or like a Guardian, you don't have it anymore. It's just a solid 6-drop, and like, my curve doesn't really go to 6, but playing the 1 of and being able to, even like, there was times where I played him and only got 1 card. It still helps a lot.
Yeah, plus I was gonna say, like, the knowledge of the hand is so strong in this game.
I didn't actually write down the hands because like every game was going to time still, and I think that chalks up to a lot of new players and not knowing interactions, not playing so much, which like I hope will get better. But it's a very not super quick format, but it's not too slow. Like, you can finish a game in 50 minutes. It's just a lot of people just don't fully grasp the queue because they're coming from card games that didn't have like a chain like that. Like, if you came from Dragon Ball Super and haven't played any game like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, you have no idea what that is. So
you're just confused the entire time.
You're just like, why is this resolving now and not now? Well, because it's first and last, yada yada. But I'm rambling now. Let's move on.
It's alright. 3 copies of Best Boy, Hellish Guardhound.
So, I did not main him in Indianapolis.
Really?
So, I was playing a Shard Beats version. So, I couldn't really play that many 3-drops. So, Guardhound was chilling in the board. That was the biggest mistake. Because he's a 20k beater that stops 2 attacks when you play him. He makes a guy unable to attack the next turn and can Guardian another guy, and he's a 20k, so most times he trades or takes out the unit, which is good because then you build counters on Hoenna, and that's pretty much the whole purpose of this deck, is to kind of attrition, starve them out of resources, and you could just make dudes without even casting cards. So, like, Guardhound gets the seal of approval. I don't think I would ever side him again. He's the main boy now.
Yep, I was gonna say, I think it's pretty safe to say that, like, if you're playing Hoenna, you should probably be playing Guardhound.
Yeah, I don't really have an argument. I mean, you don't get the hidden lab thing off of it, but I don't care.
Yeah. Alright, next up is probably... This is a card that, I mean, it seems really good at first, I mean, in general, but I didn't realize how good it is until, like, seeing it played. Is Silver Watchwoman.
So, Silver Watchwoman is... It's quickness, it's target attack, and you can save it. Like, that's the token. So, with Hoenna, even if you, on 4, take out a guy, that's that. Like, say they swing with a Yuki. You give it quickness, you give it prevent damage, you trade the Yuki, you get a counter, you still have a Watchwoman. If you still have Sola unbursted, you just ready the Watchwoman. And now you have this 20k that just traded for free, like, just for 4. It's not ideal Argent cost, but it's also, like, quick, take a tower. It's just... She's really good, like, for a quickness creature. Like, her other the equivalent to her would be Corn Assassin, but that's only in light decks, and if you just use the spirit, like, it's really hard to squeeze them in. So, like, Watchwoman is just a generic good card that can steal a tower, take out a unit with just out of nowhere. So, kudos to the Bay Watchwoman.
Alright, next up is probably the actual best destroyer in the game. Twilight Knight.
Yeah, I'm not really going to go into why I play Twilight Knight. He kills a Guardian and takes the tower. End of discussion.
Joe, why is this card good, though? No.
Why is it good? So if they have a blocker that's in the way, it gets rid of said blocker, and then he can take 2 towers.
And then you ramp, yep. The fact that he gets quickness is the craziest part to me.
There's a lot of ways around him.
No, there are, but, like, I just really enjoy the fact that there's a 6-drop destroyer that can gain quickness.
Yeah. A quickness destroyer is kind of dope.
Alright, last for the creatures is 3 copies of Yuki the Lightning Flash.
So, I know a couple of people didn't main Yuki. I'll give them shout-outs later. But they were playing a Gears list. Yuki and Hoenna Sola is a staple simply because it has target attack. It's just an easy way to get rid of their units and build counters. So, like, it helps you against kite decks with Sylphia. It helps you against any blue deck that has Chronostasis. She comes in for free, takes a tower if she needs to. But, like, realistically, throughout most of the day, I was using Yuki to take out because it just builds counters. It gives me 15Ks. And, like, you can't swing back at Yuki to take her out unless you have something with target attack yourself, because I would just ready it with Sola. Sit there, and unless they have a quickness dude, they're not really getting in unless they get something bigger, which is later in the game. But at this point, they're probably 3 towers down, and it's just free 20k body that hits creatures is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that's, like, one of the worst feelings is, like, you crack an early tower and they drop Yuki, and you're like, oh wait, I have no responses to this.
Yeah, it's really hard to want to crack a tower when you see light, like either the champion Liam or Sola, because it's like you trade a tower for one of your towers because Yuki's going to come in on their turn, and they have a 20k body, and you probably crack like a 1k tower, or like in the case of Hoenna decks, you might have hit a 15 right off the bat, or if you're Gears, you definitely hit a 15 because every 1k is a threat.
Everything hits 15 in Gears.
Everything hits 15 in Gears, yep. Gears is really good.
Alright.
But yes, but Yuki is not, personally, is not the best card in this. It's just, she really helps the gameplay, but she's not the best card.
Okay. Alright, moving on to the spells and augments. We got 2 copies of Debilitating Miasma. I have to pull that one up because I don't even know what that is.
So it's a 4-cost instacast that minuses 22 units.
Alright, that's pretty good.
It's a 2-for-1. It's
Yeah.
really all it is. Cost 4, 2-for-1.
Alright, 3 copies of Dust Strike. I know this one.
Yes, it's just an insta-cast removal spell. You need it in certain situations, like it'll help you get past Guardians. It's a 2-cost that kills mostly everything. It stops Twilight Knight from striking towers because he's now only a 5k, which is really good. Could save you. And it kills mostly everything except for like Stormcaster, Golem of Vengeance, Akuma Juggernaut. A lot of just a lot of late game stuff, but like it's not really. It's very little late games. It's just a lot of things at 30k less, so like it's very helpful. Plus, it helps you trade with your units. Like you could swing into like a 40k Dust Strike something with like a 15, and you just kill it.
Yep. Next up is Omega Magic Yami.
This is one of those other cards I really don't have to explain.
Yeah.
Once you lose 3 towers, you get back a 3-cost, and you minus something by 10. So you get back a Guard Hound, you get back an Avarice, you get back a Devourment, you get back an Allurement.
Yeah, Yami's just value.
You get back a Yuki.
Oh yeah, it does hit non. It doesn't specify what
Just
color.
hits 3 costs. Yep.
Yeah, Yami's just one of those cards that are just instant value.
Yes. Even like if you don't get both options, getting back a 3-cost is really good. Minusing something 1000 can also be really, especially if they're swinging into like a little dude and you're just like, let's trade. Could really mess up, like, could really put you over the edge because now you get a counter and they lose.
Yep. Next up is Holy Slash. How come you were running 2 copies? I know for a while what a lot of people were doing, I think Tato was doing it, was dropping Holy Slash to a 1-of in main board.
So, I should not have been running Holy Slash. It's not great. A lot of people kind of know about it. They have to be attacking to hit something. So like it'd be a cute 1-of, but like the way the format was at Rhode Island, and I'm pretty sure like how it is currently, like now, Holy Slash is not that great because there's a lot of things that get around it, like things that can't be targeted, and like Holy Slash, like they put on Caliber, like in the Gears match, just for example, they'll put on Caliber before you're able to Holy Slash. At least Dust Strike you can in response, Dust Strike before it attaches. So it's not as effective as it once was. So Holy Slash is not like, it's okay to have. It helped me maybe once or twice in a day, but a lot of times it just sat in my hand. Not gonna go anywhere.
Yep. Next up is Wrath of God, aka Finishing Ray.
His card was here for Akuma Juggernaut. That is the only reason why this card is here, and it helps. But I have no way to deal with that card efficiently. That card is bonkers. So anyone listening to this, if you're playing blue and you're not running that card, you need to find space for it. It is incredibly hard to answer. It's really strong, and it's a powerhouse. Like, it will take out units. It'll stop attacks for turns because it is one of the hardest creatures to deal with at the current moment. Like, you need something that does not target it to get rid of it, or something that's bigger in target attack. But that's why the Finishing Ray was there.
That makes perfect sense. Juggernaut is a beast.
Yeah.
Rounding out the last 2 light cards in the deck. I was going to say white, yellow, I forget. But Omega Magic Hikari, yeah, whatever we're calling it.
So Hikari is like a instacast that can save your life, or it's just 2 little weenie dudes. Or 1 little weenie dude sometimes. You just have to kind of look where towers are to, kind of follow through with your game plan. Because sometimes when you hit the wrong tower, you lose. But if you know where they all are, you can't do that. So,
yeah.
I used to run Hikari at 3, but kind of had to slide into finishing race somehow. So Holy Slash, I caught Omega Magic Akari because it's like it's good, but it's not like the greatest. It helps when like it's really good when like it helps out, but like also it's sometimes it just doesn't do much.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hikari. I like the interaction with it and Hollowed Crystal because you can make them 15Ks or 15s.
I actually had to do that, and like it was either I used the spell in my hand or I saved my Golem of Devourment for a turn because round 3 I was playing Dave Pendergrass. He's a really cool dude. Really good at the game too. He had a Twilight Knight in his hand, and he tried to swing into my Devourment, but I had one left in deck, so I didn't want to get quick. So instead of killing his creature, I just pumped my guy to 15 because he had the 1K Azure Seer, and it kind of got me a turn or two. He wound up winning that game, but that was the only match I dropped in Swiss.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So
Hollow Crystal is more useful than people give it credit for. It's not the best one, that's Zephyr, but it's probably second, I would guess. Maybe third, because Cryptic Crystal also kind of helps you set up a game plan.
Cryptic Crystal is the blue one?
The blue one that lets you look at the top two.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of sets up your draw. But that's neither here nor there.
Alright, next up is 3 copies of Delayed Poison. I think I didn't hit the button for that. The next 3 copies are Delayed Poison.
Hey, it's a 1-cost removal that they changed to that made that card really good.
So what was the change that they did to it?
So, it's since you attach it to their unit, they're considered the controller of that augment, so it reads from their perspective. So it's kind of like gifting it to them, and they go, "Oh, this kills my crystal because it says at the start of your turn." Like you read it as like you have it. So the way it reads is, say, find it or get this mouse reading. Is you equip it to a unit, and at the start of your next turn, destroy the equipped unit. So, like, you have it, and you're saying, oh, at the start of your, like, it's reading to you, like, your next turn. It's telling you, the control, not the owner of it. So, at one point, they just thought it because, like, if it was mine, it would be the start of my turn because I owned it, but it goes based on where it's at.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's a really good removal card.
It's a weird ruling on it, but I'm going to play it until they decide to change it.
I don't blame you. Alright, lastly, like for main deck cards, is Hidden Laboratory at 3.
It is the best card in the deck, hands down. 100%. It's a 2-cost 15k body that lets you draw. It helps in the Hoenna matchup. The person that sees more Hidden Labs wins the game because you just sack your units so they don't get counters. And you draw cards. And you can also fail Golem, open your drop for Yami later. You can just draw cards off of the Devourment if they're not swinging control matchups. Greatest enemy is Zephyr Crystal. That happens. But if this card is on your board for a extended period of time, like Hoenna is at a much better advantage than you probably at most of the time, with the exception of maybe Jamail, who can, like, the more he plays units, he gets to see more cards. But it kind of balances out. I mean, Jamail can just do it, but like this is kind of the way for Hoenna to do it and kind of stay in the game without like burning through her resources too quickly.
Yeah, makes sense. Alright, so Shards and Towers seems pretty standard, but...
So the towers are the only towers that are available. I don't think I really have to go through them, but if anyone is...
Joe, why did you play 1 Tower of Darkness?
Because if I played 2, I would lose. Due to game rules. You only allow 1 of each element tower, but Apparently, there's more coming out. I'm kind of excited to see what they do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
These are actually all really strong, so if they're not really in, I don't know. I mean, I can only assume that the next ones are just as good or better.
Yeah, the only, I guess, not even a really question, but Corona the Spirit Ruby. Is there any particular reason you chose to play that one over the others?
It's Kentar.
Okay, there we go.
You can't kill him. There's no way to kill him without this card. You could Finishing Ray, but at that point, he's already done his work. And
Yeah.
that's not good. So, in the Gears matchup, you don't flip Sola ever, unless you are going to die. As long as you have, like, that one attack to go through, you don't use Sola.
Alright, moving off of the deck itself, Joe, let's talk about your matchups. How many rounds did you play? All that fun stuff.
I played 6 magical rounds of dueling in Argent Saga. My round 1, I played a Hoenna Mirror. Pretty sure his spirit was fizzy. So I just took the aggressive route because I could untap my guys, so he couldn't trade with my guys to build up counters. So I went through that. Second round, I played a Jamile Solid list. Game 1, he got me. Game 2, I got him. I kind of switched my whole strategy with my sideboard. Dylan, unfortunately, the site I use to put my deck on does not allow access to the sideboard, but I went more of a Shard B strategy. My sideboard is kind of geared towards that for control matchups. They go late game, so I go hard early game. So I was able to 2-0 him after the first game. Round 3, I played a Jamile Kite, who we got through one game. He got it just barely. It was very back and forth. It was probably one of my favorite games of the day. Round after that was another Hoenna Sola matchup in which I ran away with the game. He did not, he just didn't draw. So it was just like I had Yuki's, he didn't. I got Hidden Labs, he didn't. So it was just run away with it. Round 5, I played a Buckeye. That was interesting. At one point, he had no towers left, but his board was 2 Juggernauts and then 2 Phantasmal cards from the 1-cost spell. And I had 5 creatures. And the only way I could not have won that turn, he messed completely. And I was like, all right, I got to pound into these Juggernauts and get them off the board. There's no way I'm going to win this way. So, but he decided to block with a guard, and I had a Yami in my hand that I just killed the guard. And then that's how that game went. Game 1 I also won, but that was the conclusion of the match. And then round 6, I played Ryan Valentino. He's a true duelist. He gets a shout out. He helped me test and kind of just got ideas my way. Same thing with Eric Goodman, who is just all over the place. He's a true duelist, but he's also Ellipsis, and he's just been nothing but helpful. The team's been helpful. I'm doing my shout outs now in the middle of my tournament thing. But yeah, I played Ryan last round, and we just had fun. And because we knew we were both in, but I got him there, and then he got me in top 8. I played his girlfriend Brittany, who is doing much like she's dating probably one of the best players in Argent Saga at the moment. But she is not to be slept on. Don't gender bias people. Women can be good at card games too. She knows what she's doing. I was able to just get the victory off of her. And then top 4, Ryan got his revenge. But it was an enjoyable day. Just the ride back was kind of rough. It's like almost 4 hours, but you know, I had fun. It's a good time. I don't think I'd go to Rhode Island again though. I'm there.
Alrighty. Well, Joe, do you have anything else you want to say, man?
I just want to thank Ellipsis for being supportive and helping me like test and letting me ramble ideas with them, and just big, probably one of the greatest group of people I've ever met in the community. I like playing True Duelist. They've also been quite helpful. Between John Tanner, Ryan Valentino, Eric Goodwin, Blandon, they've been super helpful. They have a whole bunch of ARGENT content. So if you guys, I mean, Ellipsis is just starting with the content. This is definitely the first deck profile, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we actually have 2 other ones from release weekend. They were intro decks.
Oh.
This is the first real deck profile, but yeah.
This is the first post-set 1 format. Okay. Fair enough. So, yep. They have a whole bunch of content there. I know a lot of people don't agree with Patreons, but it's worth the $3 a month. You get so much information. If anyone wants to go into the competitive scene with ARGENT SAGA, they really are helpful. They're not to ignore what other people say. Just go with your own personal opinion about Patreon. Like, just check it out. That's all I'm going to say. Check it out. Even if you want to pay for it, just hit one of them up. They're very helpful. They'll help you with most things. Same thing with Ellipsis. We'll help you out, but we're just kind of starting to, dip our toes into ARGENT SAGA, more or less. Everyone's kind of just doing their own thing with card games.
Yeah, we're all kind of just spread out at the moment.
Yeah, but we'll be back soon. Don't worry.
All right, Joe.
I'm gonna stop.
Last quick question before you go. No, you're good, man. You're good. What is your favorite card from Betrayal? Not Betrayal. Genesis? Whatever the expansion pack is called.
My favorite card out of the expansion pack is adorable.
You cut out for a second. Which one?
The Arbor Carmichael, the 1-drop 500 Fox guy for Air.
I respect that.
I really want Mono Air to be good.
Dude, you and me both, man.
It's close.
It's so close. Not the point of the video, though. Thank you for coming to talking with us, Joe.
Yeah, no problem.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff on Ellipsis TCG on YouTube for more ARGENT SAGA and Dragon Ball Super content, along with other card games, because who knows what we're going to adventure into. Later.
Yeah, it's an adventure. Bye, guys.